This conference will now be recorded.
Guys, can you hear me? Hello, guys, can first. Fine. Okay. Now, last class, what we discussed, we are done for the Kubernetes setup with the using kubeadm. Using kubeadm, we have set up, and a cluster level we have set up that. And now, today, what we do? Let's deploy the application. Let's deploy the our application. How we are gonna deploy, and what is the pod? How to create a pod? How to deploy a pod? How to edit a pod? How to describe the pod? How to check the log the pod? Okay, everything like as know, first we need to understand this is the one we do day-to-day activity in a Kubernetes level. Okay. And let's see how we are going to create that. Let me start this Kubernetes cluster and one master and then two slaves kind of. Okay. And we are discussed like as what are the master components are there, what are the slave components are there in the last few sessions, right? And once we connect and even we install the dashboard too, right? We install the dashboard also. Okay. And this is the Kubernetes. The setuping new and second is lab practice on Kubernetes. Okay, lab practice on Kubernetes. Let's see that. And I'll show the first, basic command how we're going to deploy. Okay, let's see. And let's connect the this node, master node. Copy this. Enter this. Let me close this. Okay, kubectl get pods. Do you have any pods running or no? In the here, when we deploy any pod, by default is deploy the default namespace. Remember, by default namespaces. And this is the one important question. And they will ask one more question. What are the default namespaces when you set up the Kubernetes? And remember, this is the default namespaces we'll get. Default is the one namespace, and default itself default namespace. Okay, and the kube node lease, and then kube public, kube system, and then Kubernetes dashboard. This is the things you need to tell them in the interview point of time. Okay, and if you deploy any application or any pod, I mean, and where it is deployed under which namespace, this is the namespace. Like as we discussed previously, what is the namespace? Let's say it is in a village. Let's say it is in a village. In a village, there is a one home, like as one family. That is a one namespace. One family is called as one namespace. Inside the namespace, they may have the number of people. Means in the one namespace, we can deploy the many applications. Remember that concept. And that is about namespaces. And we are going to discuss for in-depth level of how to create a namespaces, how to switch the default namespace to my custom namespace, how to deploy application and specific namespaces. Those we'll discuss in the future classes. As of now, you can ignore that right now. Okay, and if you can see, if I do kubectl get pods, we can get the pods. Okay, by default namespace pods. Okay, and if you want to know that any other namespace, you can mention the -n, and then you can mention the which namespace you want. Let get the kube system namespace, -n means namespace. Now this is the pods are running this namespace. This namespace is running. And if you can see another namespace, what are the pods are running for? Another names. This is the kube system namespace, and another one is the kube public. Okay, let's see. Let's see the kube public namespace. There is nothing is there in kube public. Okay, and then check for that. Another one Kubernetes dashboard namespace. There is a two parts are running. Now metric is the one, and then Kubernetes dashboard is the one. Two parts are running, and next -n kube node lease. Kube node lease also we can check now. There is nothing. What are the namespaces as running application is no? One is the kube system. By default, all applications. This is also very important question. When you deploy the like as code, DNS, kube proxy, kube scheduler, and all these are running which namespace? Kube system. Remember which namespace? Kube system. Very, very important question. Now in this, just now we covered the three interview questions. One is that what are the default namespaces will come? What is the default namespace in Kubernetes? And what is the like as what are the pods are running on the kube system namespace? Okay, let's say this is the kind of, or else all your master components is running on the which namespace. They're gonna ask this reverse question. Okay, remember these three interview questions is very important. Fine. The next what we are going to do, let's deploy the application. Let's deploy the application. To deploy the application, what we do, we need to write. To deploy application, we have a two methods. What are the two methods are there? One is the imperative way, another one is the declarative way. Imperative way is very, very important. Imperative way, and then another one is the declarative way. Imperative way and declarative way. Imperative way, declarative way. What do you mean imperative way means? Imperative way means like as just run a like as kubectl create or run, create or run any commands actually, and then anything we can use create or run and blah blah things. That is the imperative way. Declarative way means we need to write a YAML file and then keep it that YAML file. The same way in Ansible, if you remember, we are discussed about ad hoc commands and then playbooks, right? Declarative way is the playbook kind of, and imperative way is the ad hoc commands. Just execute and then forget about that feature. And if you want to reuse that same, again you need to be write a command. Okay, you want to edit that, then again it's very difficult. That's the reason what we do. We are not doing for much in the imperative way. If you want to get something, okay, you want to do like as instant one, we can do this method. When you go for writing a Kubernetes administration exam, this imperative way works very nicely for when you are the exam point of time. But it won't work for in the real time scenarios. Okay, in exam point of time, what happened now? You need to deploy your application very simply. Like as you can use the kubectl commands very fast. There is a very fast way you can deploy your application. Like as any service, any expose service, or as deploy a cluster rule binding. Okay, they will ask this kind of questions. Now those time we can use a kubectl command. Then it's a single command we can deploy your application. That's very easy. Anyway, you will get no feature. And this is a declarative way. Declarative way means we need to return the YAML file. That YAML file has the different kind of specs. Like as we saw that in a Docker compose level, right? API version, and then spec and the container, blah 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 things, metadata. There's a many information we saw. Have you guys remember Docker compose YAML file? And inside the container there is a like as ports and the volumes and the blah 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 things are there. A service, inside the service there is a multiple service names. Have you guys remember Docker compose file? No? Let me show that. That's Just I'll show the one time. Okay, you can compare this. The same way, version, services, those kind of things are there, right? The same way here also will be there, but the syntax may be different. Okay, but the same structure, and the syntax is different in this scenario. The syntax is different in our scenario. Let's see how we are gonna do this. This cube system lab practice. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna deploy for this environment. This is the container, a kubectl run. That means we are deploying this nginx image. Like as in the same way, in a Docker, if you want to run the container, what you do in your Docker level, Docker run directly we can run, right? Docker run -d -p, port number, okay, and then internal port, okay, like as hyphen name equal to container name, and, and then image name, like, right. Now we can give this way, right? We can give this way, if you guys remember. And this is the way we are running, right? We are running for our application. The same way in Kubernetes, how we can do, this is the way we can do. If you want to run the Docker, that is the way in Docker. Just compare with that and this. Now this is the way in Kubernetes we do. Either we can use the run or create, anything we can use. Create image name, and this is the container name, like this is the container name, and this is the what, port. This is the what is this means, port. Okay, understand guys? Understand now? The same here and here, both are same, but here we are exposed, but here not to expose. And if you want to expose, like here also there is another option, iphone node port. That concept will come, that I'll discuss later. Okay, as of now, understand, right guys? This command, this is the imperative way to deploy a application. Now we have a multiple options, Docker run level. Now Docker run, Docker deploy a pod, create a role binding, like as you can use the create or run. Okay, create or run. Okay, there is a different kind of options are there, either create, either run we can use. Fine. Now what we do, let's gonna deploy this, and before going to deploy, let's cross check once what are the things are there. Now kubectl get pods in a default namespace. If we deploy this, where it's deployed, it's deployed in the default namespace kubectl get pods. Pods means what? That is the application where we are running our application, that we call as a pod in Kubernetes level. In a Docker level container, in a VM Linux level, we are calling a VM. Okay, and then kubectl get pods, and then kubectl, let's do for deployment. Deploy object, there is no deploy object. We'll discuss what is this all. Okay, and the service object, as of now we have the Kubernetes is a service object which is running on, okay, in a default namespace. Then other than is nothing. And the replica set, remember these four concepts is the more important for us. What is this? Pod, replica set, deployment, and namespace. What are those? Remember this diagram, and I will explain one by one. Set. Okay, what do you mean? Let's say this is the pod, replica set, and deployment object. These three is in the single object, and another object is the service object. These the four objects are to deploy your application, to access your application. These are the four objects in Kubernetes we are using. Remaining all are whenever we need it. Whenever we need it, it can be let's say namespaces and daemon sets. Okay, and then job, cron jobs, and then like a stateful sets. Okay, and then person volume claim, RBAC, are these services. What happen? No, these services is we are gonna use for the whenever we require, whenever the specific time, okay, service account, all those. But if you want to deploy your application to access your application, this is the four objects. Each thing we are calling as the object: pod object, replica set object, deployment object, and service object. Okay, it's pod, replica set, deployment, and service. These are the concepts in Kubernetes. This is the concept in Kubernetes. What we are going to discuss today, we are discussing about the pod. Then after we'll see the what is the drawback in pod. Let's create a replica set. After see the drawback in replica set, then do the deployment. In a single YAML file, we are going to return for everything in the single file. Okay, we'll see one by one. And to access this pod to outside the world, we need a service object. We need a service object. Why we need to require the service object? How to create a service object? We'll discuss later. These are just I'm checking for default pods, default replica set, default deployment object, default service object. Default service object. Understand, guys? Understand, na? Okay. Remember, this is the application is running. This is the helpful. How many applications is running? That is the what is helpful. And without downtime, you want to deploy application. This is is helpful. To access your application outside the world, this is the one is required. Like we are exposing the -p and then 80:8080. Now this is the outside accessing port, right? The same way that port we can do this here using service object. Okay, that is what it can helpful for in a Kubernetes level. The same concept, Docker and Kubernetes mostly same, but the way you write it, the way to access is a little bit difficult. That's it. Nothing else is there. Okay, cool. Then next, what we do? Let's create this small command, like as you know, imperative method, but it's not a recommended approach to deploy to real applications. Okay, I'm gonna deploy this. Now what happened? It say that pod is created. The pod is created is the pod name. Now do that kubectl get pod first. Pods or else PO or POD. Okay, anything we can use. Pods, PO, POD. PO pods, PO, POD. It's a container is creating now. Okay, like container creating and container creating still, container creating still, container creating still, container creating still, container creating still. And if you want to watch this directly, how we can do? There is a in real time scenario we are going to do this. Instead of doing up arrow every time, we can use the watch command. You can see that what's going on. Every 2 seconds, this automatically refresh and it will show the status of this application. Wait, 67 seconds is done. 69 seconds is done. Still container creating. 71 seconds, 73 seconds. Inside this Nginx application, what is the container is running, guys? Which container is running now? What is the container is running? Tell me, guys. What is the container is running? Container name, okay. What is the image is? What is the image? What is the image inside? Which application is running? This is the container name. This which application is running? Yes, Nginx is running. Let me wait while man. This much time taking Nginx one. It's not be like that. Let it be. Okay, what I'm gonna 2 minutes is almost done. Still it's creating. What I'm gonna do? Let's see. Get RS. Replica set is running. No. Deployment object anything is created. No. And let's create the service SVC or service both are same. There is also no. Okay, only Kubernetes pod. That Nginx pod we created. That is still in the creating. You can see that kubectl logs of this pod. There is no logs as of now. There is no logs for this. And what happened? We can describe the kubectl, describe pod, pod name. Kubectl describe pod name. And we can see this every any object you want to duplicate, like as you know, assigned default app to this is the node, okay, successfully. And check this, get pod, and still it's running. It's not yet, coming up. First of all, what we do? Get nodes. Let's do the get nodes. Nodes are ready. That's fine. Okay. I'll, 2 month master. This is up and running. And get pods now. Still creating. Why, man? This much time. What I'm gonna do? Let's do for another method. Maybe the environment name we need to give always. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create a one and then do. This is another pod I'm creating. Get pod. This is something issue kept. Okay. Now, if you can observe here, fail to create a pod sandbox RPC error code unknown disk file set up the pod nginx network plugin is with no error message signal is killed. Pod sandbox, it will be killed the recreated. It's trying to creating a pod, but it's a fail. Okay, it's trying to creating a pod. It's a fail. It's a fail now. It's a fail now. Means container not creating in the nodes actually. Container is unable to create in the nodes. If you describe the more, if you see the describe, it will show that what's going on in our deployment. Okay, this describe command, we have the way to troubleshoot your pods. Now, first we'll describe, mostly 90% result will get in the 9th result. Why it's failing. If you're not running a container, after running container, your application is not working. Like inside the container, inside the pod, your application not working. What to do? You can check the logs, the pod logs you need to check. Understand, guys? The pod logs for checking for application. This describe command to check for why it's not running your container, your pod. Understand? No, it's not running right now. What is the problem? There is some CNI network. Okay, this is a network plugin is not working properly. Let's go and see that what has happened. What is happened, mama? Okay, what I'm gonna do? Let's see. There is some ports issue maybe. Okay, let's say maybe security groups issue. What I'm gonna do? Let's see here. Inbound rule. Okay, like this is the ports only is running, right? Now basically what we need to know, this is for KBW setup. There is a ports, not nodes in the master node. Okay, there is a ports need to be open. What is the port? 6783, 6784. Now these two ports need to open. Okay, like a 6783, 6784. Now if you can observe here, now 6783 UDP port, and 6784 also UDP port, and UDP 6784, 6783 is a TCP, 6784 UDP. Okay, both ports are the UDP and TCP port need to be open. Now where is I am open? Now go for instances, go for master node, and then go for the security group and add the inbound role. These are CNI ports. Okay, the CNI ports need to open. Let me open this Google, and what we can do. Now, if you can see, the TCP port is 6783, UDP port is that, T6783 and 6784. Now, let's create a 6783 TCP port. 6783 TCP port. Let's open, add a rule. 6783, 6783, which is the what? TCP, 6783 TCP. ATP 6783, TCP port, and the next is 6784 TCP port. 6784 this is a UDP port. This is a UDP port. Okay, this is the things we need to be. And what is the UDP port? What is the UDP protocol and the TCP protocol difference, guys? What is this different? And a UDP port, we are not guaranteed to deliver the response. Okay, at the TCP port is a guaranteed to send the request or response is a guarantee to it will be delivered. Like UDP port is the not guaranteed to deliver. Yeah, and then yes. Now 670 like this is a protocol like a TCP, HTTP, HTTPS, and UDP. All these protocol transfer protocols. Now 6784. What is that? 1 second. 6784. Here only, right? UDP, UDP, TCP. Okay, anywhere, anywhere. What I'm gonna do? Let's save this now. In a master node, we allow these ports. Let's see here what happens. Now see, this is running after running. Super. Once the ports is open, that's the reason that two ports need to open. Clear now? Clear or not? Earlier, the container is not running. The CNI network ports are not opened. After opening these ports, now our application is up and running. Okay, that's the reason we need to allow that ports also. Just remember. Fine, cool. The next, this is the simple way to deploy applications. Okay, like as imperative. But again, like as you left the company, let's say you are doing this way every day. You copy paste command and you are executing, but you left the company. Then other guy want to edit that. Other guy want to deploy that. What happened? No, there is no proof. There is no backup to execute that. Okay, sir, he will send a mail me all the commands. No, that is not a correct way to implement that. Now what we should do? We should be huh, we should be using this declarative way. Declarative way and desired state is a declarative and desired. This is a method for Kubernetes. Desired state means how much you ask. Desired command, desired method. Okay, desired way is declarative way is what, like as how we are writing a YAML file. Okay, that is the two things are very important. Okay, the next what we do, let's go and do that writing a pods. Okay, let's discuss about the pods, how to write a pods and all. Understand, guys, how the pod and check the logs and all those things. Let's go on one by one. And if you want to know that get pods, right, -o wide. Okay, this is option also very important. Now basically this will give that clarity clarity on the like as what are the pods are running, each pod which is what is the IP address, what is the readiness gates and nominated node, and know which node is running, which node is running. These two information will get, more information will get. Now, if you do the pods, we'll get just simply running for up to this. And you want to know that what is the like that pod IP, which node is running. Those information you need to use for the -o wide option. Okay, it's a very important. And if you want to see this result in a get pod, okay, let it be. Okay, and if you want to know get the all the pods, you can use for -f all namespaces or as -a -f all namespaces at a time. All namespaces or capital A. Either. We can use both. Any one of. Is it clear, guys? No, it's a default namespace. These containers are running. This is a Kubernetes system is running, and this is a dashboard namespace. These two containers are running. Okay, that is the understand. Okay, fine. -o wide and then all this. These two things are very important to know that. And the next get pods we are done. Okay, this we'll discuss later. This already discussed. Okay, anyways, let's discuss about again for pods. Okay, let's discuss about the pods. It's a very simple, guys. Okay, don't confuse too much. Okay, it's the same code, duplication code we are writing here every time. Let me explain by one. Same how we are Docker compose file is there, the same way. See here in this pod manifest or whatever manifest we are using, you need to remember in this pod manifest mainly deployment manifest or replication manifest. You should be remember there is a four sections are important. There is a four sections are important. One is that API version, kind, metadata, spec. What is that? API version, kind, metadata, and spec. What is that? API version, kind, API, V is the capital here, kind, and then metadata, and then spec, and then spec. Now, here, what is this? Now, basically, in a Kubernetes, we have a different jobs comes under the different API. Now, this may be API version. If you want to know that, now if you can see here, API version 2, okay, and then and basically there is a document. I'll explain. I'll show you that. Okay, not only this, like we have all things, but as of now, you can see this V1 version, this API version, and open API. Wow, super. Okay, I got to know one thing. Somewhere as serviceman. There is a one table kind of things. Okay, we'll get to know that, what are the comes under the which API. Okay, like as each service object. Mm, I'll show you. Hmm. This is the one I'm looking for. This is also very important to know. This is that even this, remember this page. No, you can get to know everything, even writing a simple way to your code. Okay. And if you can see what we have different options. Okay. Batch jobs will come this year. Okay. And then, core, display, events, and the policy, and then storage. We have the different versions. Now, our like as pod and all which come and all, which one is here? Like as basically it comes under the apps, let's say. Okay, batch jobs means like a job and cron job, those will come under this. Okay, now that's the way what we are, which version we are mentioning. This is the V1 version we used. Okay, mostly all V1, every maximum, and someone it has the alpha V1, alpha V2. Okay, there's a multiple options at workloads. If you see the workload, these jobs, these batch jobs comes under the batch jobs, even job and okay. Now let's say what we discussed here. Like see, the pod will come under the V1 core actually. This will come the core level kind is a pod. Okay, the job is like a job, cron job will come under the job actually. And this is the core group will come. Group name is the core and then person is the V1. Understand guys? And we have a options here, like there's no different options and all. Now let's see one by one here. Understand the first line is understand API version. What is the this V1 we need to give? That is the API version. That is a like as they implement this version. Maybe in the future they will change that we can know. We need to change to this V2. There's a new release happen, and if they're gonna use, you can use the V2. Is it clear now, guys? First line is clear. This is the second line. Second line is the kind. Okay, kind means what object we are creating. It is a pod, is a deployment, is a service, is a stateful, is a service account, is a namespace. Okay, is a like as rolling role binding or role binding. Okay, all those here. And let's say whatever could be job or a cron job. What exactly what object we are creating? Now, which object we are creating now? We are creating a pod. That's the reason we mentioned the pod. Kind colon space. Each colon after one space will be there here. See that remember. See that remember. It's clear, guys. Clear now. Clear now. The second line is clear. And then this third line. This third line is this is the pod name. Metadata. This is the pod name and labels of this pod. Okay, these labels of this pod. It can be given a number of labels because these labels are very important. Okay, based on these labels and selectors only we can. Okay, we'll discuss these labels later. What is the use of these labels, and we'll talk about this later. This is a kind of tags. Okay, this kind of tags for application. Okay, labels. Okay, this is just for what are the names you want. You can give. These names are your wish, Joe version, whatever. This key value paste, whatever you want to get. And the spec. In this, the spec section is the main section. Okay, where we're running our containers and a container name, which image, which ports, which volume, which one, blah 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 options. Okay, what are the ports and what is the container post, which protocol, which is the image name, what is the container name you want to create, where the image is located, okay, which image I need to download. And if you want to download a private images, that will talk later. Okay, we have a secret object and we need to store your credentials from the secret object, and we need to use that secret object inside to download your private repository images. That will talk later. As of now, just remember this. Is it clear, guys? Understand? Any question in this? This is the object, and then remember, it follow the internet. If you are not writing like properly here, then it will be through there. Okay, and you should be make it proper way to this. After this starting the two letters, you can space and you can give. And this is comes from the same Ansible playbook how we return. The same way we need to return this YAML files also. The same way. Okay, clear, guys? Understand now? And each section I've written this document, and let's see what it contains. Now let's say, although the first YAML file format, you can see you can also use JSON format also, but real time scenario mostly we written for mostly YAML files only, 99%. Straight away we can see the four top level resources that we are going to need to understand: API version, kind, metadata, and spec. The API version field is specifies the version of API that will be using. V1 has been around the since 2015. Includes an extensive pod schema and then it's stable. If you are working with some of the newer constructs such as the replicas and deployments, you will have to specify the newer version of API. Okay. The kind is fields to tell the Kubernetes what kind of object to deploy. Okay. In this example, we are telling to the deploy a pod. As we are progress through the book. Okay. This document will populate the you know now what we do will this is the this pod, right? As of now we are using pod. In future we can use the service object, deployment object, daemon set, service account, and namespaces, blah blah, like different kind we can use it in the future. Then we define the some dot metadata like option. In this example we are naming the pod and then giving the couple of labels. And the spec, and this is the spec section is the important one. Now this spec section is the where we are defining the what's the pod. And in this example we are defining a single container pod, calling a this is the container name, and base basing this image is I took from the negotiated okay. Nigel Polton is a author of the book KTS book, which I taken this all the documents and videos and this content, important content from one of the best book which I read. Entire book I read, and then I make this document. That book is, I'm gonna show you. You can buy this book if you need for latest versions from Amazon. Okay, DevOps, you know, go for the books and go for the Kubernetes. Inside the Kubernetes, this is the Kubernetes book. This is the best book which I read actually. Okay, most of the images can look like the same, but it's a little bit here. But whatever we required, whatever to understand, I make you guys are very easy method. It's around 125 pages or 130 plus. Okay, that time this is what you can see the Amazon this book. Fine. The next what we do, let's this. Okay, the next what we do, this is the what container which body you run, and use this following manifest to post the manifest to. We need to submit this manifest. This is the YAML files we are calling a manifest. We need to submit this into the API server. If you want to submit to the API server, what is the command we can use? Either we can use the kubectl create command or apply command. You need to use the create command or apply command. Create command or apply command we can use here. Okay, let's do this. Understand, guys? YAML file this. Understand now? This image where it is available, it's a Docker Hub. It's a public image. It's a public image. It's available in a Docker Hub now. Any concern in this YAML file, guys? Guys, fast. This is the first part we need to understand very well. Or else, if you understand this, remaining all are very, very simple. Very simple. If you're understanding, even they go sometime if you go for any interview, okay, what they do, they will ask you like write a pod manifest file, how look like that. Just you can close your eyes and then API version kind and then metadata and then spec. That's it. In a kind, we can mention the pod and then metadata. We can use the name of the pod and then labels and then what are the names what and the next spec container name and then image and then ports and the ports the container port is a 0 container protocol container port, those we can mention inside that. That's it, done. Okay, copy this manifest file, go here. Now let's say pod. We can give any name, okay, or what are the name you wish. We can YAML or YML, we can give any name. Okay, save this and then apply this, deploy this kubectl. If you want to deploy this, we can use the kubectl apply -f, create or apply, anything we can use, and then that YAML file name. Tell me if I deploy this, where it's deployed. I control C, I pressed HL and apply kubectl get pods. If you can see how many pods are running, 2 pods are running, right? Now if I deploy this, which namespace is deployed, guys? This one. Which namespace is deployed? Is it deployed default namespace? Is it deployed the kube system? Is it deployed kube public? Where it is deployed? Tell me first. If you deploy this pod, where it is deployed? Fast, guys. Okay, this is the deploy the default namespace, right? Now let's see that. Now kubectl get pod. You can see this. The container is creating still. Let's go and see the watch. What's going on? Wait for a minute. It's what it will do. It will download image and it will be run a container. See, this container is running now. This container is running now. Then what we can do? Let's describe this. kubectl describe pod and then pod name. The pod name is that hello pod. Now we can see this successfully assigning to this node and pulling this image to from here and successfully pull this image, created a start container and started a container. That's it, done. Now there is no errors in this container. Clear, guys? Clear now? And what we do, let's see kubectl get pods we had and kubectl get kubectl get what we can say get remember this kubectl get deployment objects. Now we don't have any deployment objects. Service objects, okay, only one, the default one, nothing. Get replica sets, where nothing is the replica sets. As of now the pod is running. This is the pod we are running. kubectl get pod -o wide. Now you can see there is a 3 pods are running. Okay, which is the node is running. This is the IP address of that pod, and this will be run. 2 pods are running one node, one pod is running on the another node. Clear, guys? Clear now? Okay. The next, this is the one thing, and then there is a multiple options are there. Let me show you. Okay, that is a create pod and get pods are done. Get pods we done. Describe commands we are done. More details. Okay, that's we are done. Introspecting pods. Now we can check for even this And there is a, like, see this get pods, this you know, this get pods we can do for multiple outputs actually. We can see YAML file format, you can see what's going on, know what is running, what happening, okay, what is the status, what is the values is added, or everything. You will get to know that what is the IP is assigned, which node is assigned, okay, and there is a, ghost class and best effort and blah blah things when it was conditions, okay, and what is the volumes is attached, and what is the, which name, which cluster we deployed, and blah blah things. Many applications are there, many information are there. And the same way we can do with the another format also, JSON format also. Means this output we can get the two formats, either YAML, either JSON, either wide actually. But if you do this, if you need more information about your container and anything, you can go for the YAML file format, or else we can go for the, which we can go for the what one, like as JSON format, which is the one you're comfortable to read more. Then you can go with this. This just see that what's created, what is IP address, what is you want to get to know that. Understand, guys? Okay. And if you want, this is for all will give, right? Now see here, get pods. Sir, I want to specific pod. And what you do, get pods and the pod name. Instead of, we can use the pod also, PO also, we can use the command short PO and then the pod name. You can give the specific pod, we can get the only that pod manifest only. What is the IP address? What is the, pod IP, host IP, what is the pod IP? All this information about the specific pod. And we can copy this manifest, and you want to know very well, like, its reading is not that much good now. What we had a um, JSON online editors. Okay, go for there, and we can see this editor, and then copy here, and we can see this what is happening. Now this API version is the kind is the pod. Okay, this is the object type, or total 5 objects. API version, then metadata. What is the annotation? It is added. Okay, this annotations, what it is, a system is added for us. Okay, annotations and the labels, and the labels are created, these two labels, and then container name and the default namespace, and the resource version is this something, it is added by the this Kubernetes. Okay, this information and the specs, containers, there is a one container is running. What is the container is running? This is a one container, the image name, the policy, and the ports. Okay, the ports is the only one, and the protocol is the TCP by default. And see, this is system is added for all. Clear, guys? Clear now? You can check, easy way to what is are there, inside this JSON. So very well to know that for troubleshooting purpose, debugging purpose, what's assigned, what is the value we are using, what is the value assigned for this container. Okay, and sometime we have these options to debug more actually. Understand, guys? This is a very important for real time. When you go for real time and then troubleshooting way. Okay, and that is the one, it's important. See, notice how to output above the container into the, initially set the our 13th line YAML file. Where does the extra information come from? There is a two main resources. That's what we just discussing. The Kubernetes pod object contains a lot of properties more than we define in the manifest. Those that you don't specify the automatically expanded with the default values by Kubernetes. When you run a kubectl get pods -o YAML and JSON, you will get the pod current state as well as a desired state. However, when you are defining a pod manifest file, you only declare the desired state. Okay, in the YAML file, what we mentioned, that is the desired state it will give us. Another great Kubernetes is introspection is command like kubectl describe. This provides a nicely formatted multi-line overview of the pod. It even includes some of important pod lifecycle related events The following command describe the state of the hello pod for the snippet of the output that we already know this. This is the multi-line, this introspecting for the more information about your pod that we saw that, right? And the next concept is the replica set. The next concept is the replica set. Now, what is the replica set? Basically, what is the drawback here? Let's discuss about the drawback in this part. Okay, and let's see. We'll discuss it tomorrow for replica set. Now, what is the drawback, guys? Let me tell you one thing. Now we are in the here kubectl get pod. Now these pods are running. kubectl uh, kubectl delete a pod and then pod name. Okay, this pod I deleted. Let's say this pod I deleted. Let's say pod deleted or not running, whatever could be, guys. Okay, let's say these two things are deleted now. How many pods are running? Only that's let's see that nginx have one only. Like remaining two applications are not running. It will come out actually automatically come out. Take some time. It's not coming out. You can press Control C and see. It came out actually. Okay, now you can see the get part. Now what happened? Only application is running. That is not intention of Kubernetes, right? Understand? Na? If any part will go down, automatically one more part should be come up, right? Yes or no? That is the reason we are using Kubernetes. Means without any downtime of our applications, if I say to the Kubernetes, hey Kubernetes, I want run the two containers for this application, one container for this application. At any cost, it should be running one container for us. At any cost, if you mention the one container, you should the container, the Kubernetes will take care of that part should be up and running. Even if you deleted someone, one more creating automatically. Understand? Na? One more should be created by automatically. If it does not creating, what happen? No, our application will go down. Right? That's the reason we are using Kubernetes for to make it for your application is up and running for all the times. But that concept is not implemented. To get that feature in Kubernetes, like as the desired state and current state option, okay, like as how many parts you want, how many parts are running, do you want to this implementation of this concept, and we are going to use for replica set. We are using a concept called as replica set. Now that is the concept we can improve for our like as Kubernetes without any downtime of your application. Multiple application is running, it will calculate for desired state and current state. If it is not matching for your desired state to current state, it will create for whatever you asked, whatever you desired state application you asked. That is the where which object is helpful for this replica set. Which object we can helpful for that replica set. Okay, without replica set, there is no use to use the Kubernetes. Understand now, guys? The pod, what is that pod? Pod is the atomic unit of application. If this go on like as it will die and then it will come up. And then no, if it is go down, actually it won't be option to create one more pod. There is no option. In a pod manifest, we don't have that option. If any pod will go down, it won't create automatically. Who will do that? Replica set will do that. Who will do that? Replica set will do that. Understand, guys? Understand that now? Okay. How that replica set manifest we are going to return? That's we can do. Can I go ahead that, or else can we do it tomorrow? It can done for 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes. Okay. Okay, man. 15, 20, 25 minutes. It takes time actually to troubleshoot, to manage all the things. Okay. Anyways, let's go for in-depth level of tomorrow. Okay, guys. Fine. Now this is the what we can do, and be practice this. Without practicing, you can't understand this, guys. Okay. And anyway, this weekend also we have a session for Terraform. Don't miss the session. Maximum things will cover for this. Okay. Fine. No, that won't be completed. It takes minimum, there is to test for that replica set we can deploy, but we need to delete, we need to create, we need to increase, we need to scale that replica set. That's the needed some, you know, some more concepts, some more debugging things, some more hands-on will be there. Replica set teaching is different, work around the replica set is different again. Okay. And then manifest file how look like basically let me show that also, and tomorrow it will be easy for you guys. Where is the lab practice? Okay, here, right? Now see here, nothing else. It's a very simple manifest. The same manifest, whatever it will come, there is only one line will come extra. This is the what pod now. This is the pod actually. This is the pod, and this is the replica set. What extra will come here in this replica set? It's a name. Earlier we used the pod. Here we are using a replica set, and this metadata of this replica set name labels I did mention here. And there is a one option will come extra in this spec. There is a replicas will come in this spec. There is a only this kind of will come extra. Okay, this is the one only will come extra. This match label, this app label must be match, or else it won't work. Okay, these name labels must be match. Okay, then only it will be tell us for this inside the template. This label and this label should be match, or else it won't be create. It won't be create. Resume low projects. Okay, we'll take some class man for that. Okay, Chandra. We'll take special class for that. I hope you guys are received my resumes, right? I shared couple of resumes. See, in a resume level projects, there is no to fix this project you can explain. You can keep it what are the project you understand in that resumes, and you should the way of explanation of what your day-to-day activity you do in this project. That is the concept. That is important. They won't ask like as what your project will do, explain your project, how much business you are done, how much money you are earning. They won't ask question that. What your roles and responsibilities for in your current project, current organization. What the project look like, what is the project is implementation, how the project is implementation. That I'll gonna explain you. Okay, remember? We'll discuss that. We'll take one special class for that. How we can resumes, what is the project management level questions, okay, and what is the day-to-day activities, what are the recent issues you have faced, okay, and let's say project management level interview questions. We have that also in our course. Definitely I'll take, not only you, many people are waiting for that. For your batch and previous batch students, both guys I'll combine and I'll take. uh, where it is well, this one, the project level interview questions. Okay, we have around like as 30 kind of questions. Okay, like tell me about yourself. What are the tools are that you are used previous project? Can you explain your current project flow? What are the challenges you have faced in your in your experience? Then how you solve that? Explain your recent issues. Okay, are you faced and how you solve it? How you communicate to your client? How your production deployment will happen? How you will be learn for new things? Okay, and what are the all the new things you learned recently? Can you handle the production issues? What are the current team size? What are your project infrastructure? Can you set up a DevOps architecture from scratch? Okay, are you involved the development or support? How much rate yourself for two for five or 10? Okay, do you have any development background? Do you have any support scripting languages? And what are the script you have written? What Are you okay to shift by working? Okay, and then are you okay for with weekend shifts? What do you see in the after how do you see yourself after 5 years? Have you worked on agile methodology? Okay, what are the your achievements in your present organization? Why are you looking for a job change? Okay, how you make it application is zero downtime? Are you comfortable work with individual contribution? You will be, how you will be make your decision based on your issue, what's your approach? Okay, how you will be get your work? Okay, and are you willing to work for new tools? Are you able to manage your junior team members? Okay, that's kind of questions, not tricky questions. We know ourselves, but we can't explain them when you go for interview point of time. Understand, huh? I hope after seeing this, or you are asking an interview question or what, right? It's the same questions will be there, man. Every interview go for this is the questions you can face. This kind of questions. These are no. This is not a subject level. It's all about what you are done. Right? That we'll discuss. Fine. See you guys tomorrow then. Bye. When when we'll discuss. We'll plan it. We'll plan it. Okay. We'll plan for maybe next week or next week. Next week is anyway festival is there. This week we have a Terraform session. We'll plan for let's plan for enjoy your festival, and we'll plan for 22nd, 22nd or 23rd. Is it fine, guys? This week is festival is there. Anyway, we are not available. Okay, like 14, 15, 16, right? Yeah, fine. We'll see you that day. Okay, we'll update. See you guys. Bye, bye guys.